Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here on a solo mission of the Fave 5 podcast. One day is across the pond having a Christmas vacation in Europe. Hopefully enjoy the libations, mi amigo. So let's get after it. I got to gift you some plays while they're Monday night. I'm going to look ahead too to the pair of matchups on Christmas Day, and we're going to work in a little hoops action because I simply cannot resist. So let's not waste a second of time. We're hopping aboard the Hong Kong Plus right away here. All the Monday edition of the Fave 5 podcast, plus 100 odds or greater. And let's go to Hello, Hawaii. Can I come over? And indeed I am in the Diamond Head Classic. Not a whole lot of action on the college hardwood this time of year, but Diamond Head is always alive and always worth buying awesome tickets on. So inside the Stan Sheriff Center there in Honolulu, let's work a little SGP plus. Give me Nebraska on the money line, and then give me Hawaii plus 18.5. So Nebraska just win by 1 to 18 points and stop right there. And then Oregon State on the alt line, I'm going to take it down to minus 4.5. They're taking on the Oakland Grizzlies. You put those hands together. Ooh, yeah, let's put the shoulders and get seduced by that juice here at a plus 113 at Caesars Sportsbook. Here's why I'm high on this. Look at Nebraska. Number 120 in tempo. They're 116 EFG offense, 71 EFG defense. Okay, they're decent, good, but not great in those categories. The downside with them is a three-point offense, only shooting 32.1% from outside, though they jack a lot of shots from distance. Over 40% of their attempts actually come from along the perimeter. Excellent defensive team, big team, really get after on the defensive glass, and that is going to be absolutely key in this game against the Warriors, because look at Hawaii, slower. They love to live in the half court. Number 257 adjusted tempo. And decent, 77 EFG offense, 103 in EFG defense. Their biggest strength, though, is in the interior. They have some size, very good rebounding team, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding as well. That 2-point percentage offense and 2-point percentage defense, also outstanding, though they are number 285 and 3-point percentage D on the season. Turnovers have been problematic for them as well. So is Sejan, one of the best arc assassins on this Nebraska team, could have himself maybe 4 or 5 made triples in this one, and that will push and propel the Huskers to get the victory, but I think Hawaii will keep it within 18 points. So I like that front in there. And then Oregon State minus 4.5, taking on Gray Campy and the Oakland Grizz. And hopefully Campy, the head coach, really a mid-major legend, will break out the Grinch sweater like he did with Tom Izzo a week ago when they took on Michigan State. Those guys go way back, great friends. The post-game press conference certainly worth your time. It was outstanding. It felt like a podcast listening to it. Those guys have wonderful chemistry, great friends. You look at Oakland, number 358 and adjusted tempo. They're 297 EFG offense, 263 in EFG defense. Not great. And 324 in 3-point percentage D. Oregon State as a team shoots 36.7% from way downtown. And there's going to be a whole lot of bangs in this game. And they're also top 12 in the country in EFG D, giving up 43.7% for 2, 28.6% from 3. And they're an excellent rebounding team in their own right. So they have the rim protectors. They have the 3-point marksman as well to wreak havoc in this game and cut the Grizz down to size. So SUB plus, build at Caesars. Nebraska money line, Hawaii plus 18.5. It's the same game parlay part. Then the plus comes in. Oregon State minus 4.5 on that alt line. Plus 113. Let's go. How on this near Christmas Eve. And I built that again at Caesars. All right, with that bet on board, let's get after it with this Monday edition of the Fade 5. All right, numero cinco on the countdown. Let's look ahead to the Netflix games on Christmas Day. And yeah, there are already lines available for this. And I say X gonna give it to you. Xavier Worthy, give me the over on 4.5 receptions, plus 115. Available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. He's done this in 4 straight games, folks. Really starting to turn it on. He's having some route running issues early in the season, but he is running with more precision, and he's getting a ton of separation. He's top 12 in the season, and average yards of separation per target is tracked at playerprofiler.com. Why I like this matchup. Look, I know Pittsburgh's number 7 in pass EPA the last 5 weeks, and on the year, They're only number 21 most receptions allowed to the WR position, but 14 guys have hauled in 5 passes against them. I'm going to see a lot of Benny Bishop in coverage because Worthy gets about a third of his snaps out of the slot, and that's where Bishop usually mans. Bishop got up a 67.9% catch rate on the year. So a lot of high percentage throws in the short and intermediate field have come off the hand of Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, using him in creative ways, whether on short slants, hooks, whatever it may be. In the screen game, I think he's got to catch uno, dos, tres, cuatro, and cinco, mi amigos. Does that plus 115? Yeah, take my money. And I grabbed that one at DraftKings Sportsbook. Next up on Christmas Day, the football Frankenstein Seahole Smash Hole. Yeah, it's kind of been and not in a good way. Here not last week, but the weeks before that, I'm still, having a stain on the brain what he didn't accomplish against the miniaturized New York Giants in the opening round of the fantasy playoffs. Really ticked off a lot of guys in that community. But look, I'm going to live and land down under on Derrick Henry, 91.5 rush yards, and it could be my funeral, sadly. But I don't like the matchup. Houston has been outstanding, really in gap coverage in the trenches. They're number 3 in rush EPAD over the last 5 weeks. On the season, only 3 running backs have gone for 92 ground yards or more against them. They're giving up just 3.97 yards per carry, 87.6 rush yards per game in the running back position. Henry is about 50-50, over to under. He's been under this number 7 times this season. I understand he's number 7 in yak per attempt. I understand he's number 2 in total missed tackles force, is tracked at Pro Football Focus. But, game flow, script could be everything, as it usually is with him. I got to feel that Pittsburgh is a live dog in this game. So Derrick Henry, Houston, I should say, is a live dog in this game. I would say that Houston, could wind up taking this bad boy. And if they do, it really increases their chances to make the NFL postseason. So I'm going to fade the matchup, and I'm going to live and land down under. I'm ready for the pain on Derrick Henry, 91.5 rush yards. Hey, go to thegamingjuice.com at JACKWAGONS and sign up for a free account right now. It's week 17. A lot of you in your fantasy championship games. And if you want to see my rankings, I'm going to be updating them throughout the week, a little bit more sporadically this week given the holiday. Rolling out my Fantasy Flames columns one more time this week. All of my top props as well. I have those all the way through the Super Bowl. The occasional college basketball piece. Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson, churning out some awesome college football content because the playoffs roll on. Will it be in the chalky round? I doubt it. The neutral field environment coming up. I think we're going to have much better games, at least fingers and toes crossed. Will be far more entertaining than what we saw over the weekend. You can get that all on Nathaniel Lundy, of course. Going to be updating a spreadsheet even while on vacation, firing off hockey bets in Europe. Brandon Velasquez churn out some NHL content as well. Get it all, fools, at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. Maybe. All right, Numero Trace here on the Fave 5 Countdown. Let's go to the Monday night affair, shall we, between the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are taking on the New Orleans Saints. And I will say this, Marquez Valdes-Scantling revenge game. Why not? I'll take the over. 17.5 yards, the longest catch on a minus 115 there at BetMGM. He has done this 8 times, and he hasn't played but like a handful of games with New Orleans. Wide receiver 2 at 8 on the season, 17.9. Wide receiver 1 in yards per catch. He's averaging 23.6 yards per reception, and he has gone over this prop not once but twice with Spencer Rattler at the controls, who is going to be under center tonight for the fleur-de-lis. And the MO Rattler, he don't care. He just chucks it, man. What do they have to play for? He's just like in full eval mode. He's playing probably for a roster spot next year. So when he got supreme speed that MVS has, he's used to playing in that kind of Lambeau chill and environment. He was there from 2018 to 2021. I think they're going to be able to connect on an 18-yard catch or greater. In fact, I'd play this number up to like 19 and a half, maybe 20 and a half, quite frankly. Yes, Green Bay, number 5 in pass EPAD last 5. They have allowed, though, 40 receptions of 20 or more yards this season. That's middle of the pack of the NFL. And he's going to get a lot of Eric Stokes in coverage. Stokes only get up 10.4 yards per catch on the season, but he's also surrendered a 102 flat passer rating. So MVS, straight down the field. Catch that bomb. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, that hands transplant. Thank you, Marcus Colston, for the donation. So generous. It's working for you. Haul one of those long passes in, and we're cashing in at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. Numero dos on the Fave 5 countdown. Let's go Jordan Love, and I am going to live in the land down under on 29 and a half pass attempts at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. Do you think the Saints are going to be competitive? That's the question you have to ask yourself. I do not believe that will be the case. It's going to be a whole lot of Josh Jacobs to left, right, and up the middle. And if this game gets out of control early, you're going to get a ton of that. I mean, this thing could be over like 2 hours and 15 minutes, quite frankly, with all the clock that Green Bay should be eating. New Orleans, number 15 in pass EPAD over the last 5. Okay, they've been decent in coverage. Only 3 quarterbacks have gone under this prop against them this year. But, man, they are walking wounded. Alvin Kamara's out. You know that, and again, Spencer Rattler is going to be at the controls over Derek Carr. Chris Olave's done for this season. I mean, they're missing so many key components. I know they're giving up 35.3 pass attempts per game, but Love has been under this. And 5 straight games, he's averaging right around this number, 29.6 pass attempts per game. Jacobs, just to give you like another little added clue here where things could go, his over under rush attempts is 21 and a half. When that is that high, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be very conservative scheme because they can take advantage and bowl over Saints repeatedly in the trenches with a very positive game script. And again, maybe there's a pick 6 off the hand of Rattler, and the league grows and there's no need to really pass. So as a result, with the Green Bay Packers favored by 14 in this one, I'm taking the under. 29 and a half pass attempts for Jordan Love. He may only play about 3.5 quarters in this matchup tonight at Lambeau Field. Numero uno on this feed at 5. Countdown. Oh, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Hopefully catching passes down the field, and hopefully it's going to happen in the first half because, as I mentioned with Jordan Love, he may not be throwing the ball a whole lot after the halftime siesta, but I love Romeo Doubs. 36 and a half receiving yards, a really low threshold for him to cross, and a lighter juice, too, is what I grabbed it at there at a minus 105 at BetMGM. Again, the Saints, number 15 in pass EPAD the last 5 weeks. 25 wide receivers have hit the over on this prop this season. The Saints have given up the 5th most wide receiver yards, as a matter of fact, this year. What is most enticing, Alante Taylor, is going to be his projected primary assignment. No DB in the National Football League is a lot more yards than Taylor, and it's by like 100 plus over number 2, which is Cameron Taylor-Britt on that list. He's given up 878 this season by himself, by his lonesome. Also a 77.1% catch rate, 116.7 passer rating. So got to maximize a matchup. Dobbs only seeing 5.3 targets per game, but he is number 24, healthy, standing in ADOT. 101.4 passer rating when targeted. Number 30 in yards per reception at 14.1. And he's been over this prop in 8 of 11 games. So like I said, hopefully he gets going early on. And he always, you spin the roulette wheel. It goes round and round and round. What number is going to land on? Who knows? Wait, Green Bay. Could be Jaden Reed night. Could be Christian Watson night. You watch. It'd be like Dontavian Wicks or Tucker Kraft or somebody. I mean, who the heck knows game in and game out who is really going to show up and show out? But Romeo Doubs, based on the matchup against Taylor, should get a few early targets and definitely reap the benefit. My number 1 play on Monday Night Football. Give me that over. 36 and a half yards receiving at a minus 105 there at BetMGM. Oh, yes, we got some more action because you know what? Boot is time! And let's go, the Team Huevos parlay play in this game. And you know I had to get some Josh Jacobs worked in there somewhere. And this is the best way to approach it. when you're dealing with some of the alt lines, anytime touchdown, because the price is so high on the standard line or even the anytime touchdown, they got to string them together to find and build some value. So SGP, give me Josh Jacobs. Anytime touchdown, give me Josh Jacobs. 75 or more rush yards, and give me MBS for 25 or more receiving yards. I will reserve the juice, and I did apply a boost there at BetMGM. 50% odds boost, as a matter of fact, on this sucker. Thank you, MGM. As a result, leg numero uno, 75 or more rush yards. You look at Josh Jacobs. He has done that consistently. 6 of his last 8 games, as a matter of fact. He has scored a touchdown in 7 of his last 8, so that leans in to leg numero uno and dos. And you look at the red zone touches, he's number 3 in that category in the season. He's number 9 in YAC per attempt among all qualifying running backs at 3.41. Number 2 in missed tackles forced as well, with 60 on the season. I believe that is tied with the football Frankenstein. I mean, the guy's just been tearing it up. He's also number 2 in yards created in total. You look at New Orleans, number 25 in rush EPAD. Again, they've been lousy up front on the year. 7 running backs have hit 75 yards against them, and they've given up 15 combined touchdowns to RBs as well. So you put all together, Josh Jacobs, touchdown, Josh Jacobs, 75 more yards should come through. And then MBS, as I mentioned, I'm taking on the over 17.5 yards on the longest catch. And I know Green Bay's been really good at the EPA data. Eric Stokes is so in coverage. But look at MBS. He's done this in 5 straight games. Certainly going to be a negative game script for the New Orleans Saints in this game. And as a result, I think MBS will get there, and it may only be on 1 catch, quite frankly. But Rattler and him have built up a decent little chemistry in a couple of games this season. I think that will carry over tonight. So to recap, the Team Huevos Parlay Play SGP. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 75 more yards. MBS, 25 plus receiving yards, plus 270. Oh, hell yeah. That's a gift that keeps on giving. Again, with that boost built there at BetMGM. And then finally, in bonus time, I'm going to throw out one more bet for you fools. Actually, a couple more. Spencer Rattler, give me the over 30.5 pass attempts at a minus 115 juice. He's done this twice, and he's been under on this twice this season. He's averaging exactly 30 pass attempts per game. But again, you're a 14-point dog. You should be throwing early and often. I don't think he's going to get the hook at all. We already saw Jake Haener. He's a train wreck. And Rattler is a guy, they need to see what he has over a full 4 quarters of play. You look at Green Bay, they have allowed 33 attempts per game, as a matter of fact, so that's good news. 9 quarterbacks have gone over 30.5 chucks against them. New Orleans, only number 21 in team pass rate. They're throwing it just 54.58% of the time, but with Alvin Kamara out of this game, I think Rattler is really going to have to rely on his arm to have any kind of semblance of competitiveness. So give me the over 30.5 pass attempts at a minus 115 juice. Then one more, Kingsley Ngbare. I'm going to take the over on 0.25 sacks in this game at plus 145. This season, he's over 29, not too shabby. And quarterback pressures with 21 in total. He's actually got 9 QB pressures over the last 5 weeks. He's gotten at least a quarter of a sack, and in fact, he's got at least a full sack. And 2 of his last 3 sacks in total over that span. And you look at Ngbare and what he could, bring heat-wise. I mean, Spencer Rattler has been subdued. Has been swarmed under 14 times in 4 games. All I need is a quarter of a sack, so just like a sack credit, and we cash. Green Bay is a collective number 10 in pocket pressure rate at 22.8. So a plus 145 for Ngbare to get plus 145, or plus 145 to get for him to get a quarter of a sack. I am in on that. All right. I'm out of breath, and I am out of time as well. I got holiday shopping. Procrastination is the name of my game. I'm an idiot to take care of today. I'm going to be like stiff arming soccer moms at Walmart and various other places. Enjoy the holiday, mi amigos. I will roll out some content slowly this week. I don't really know what the schedule is going to be because I got a lot of family activities and obligations. I hope you and yours have a fantastic holiday. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. If you had hope you had a great Hanukkah for those who also celebrated Kwanzaa as well. Get down, enjoy the family, enjoy the bets. Hopefully, you advance on in your fantasy playoffs. Thanks for supporting thegamingjuice.com and this podcast as well. Lundy's going to be back with me at some point, probably next week. I'm going to try to sneak in maybe a podcast on Friday previewing the rest of the main NFL slate. But if I don't, it's because the shops was just too good, along with the Monster Tequila. Yo ho ho! Enjoy the holidays, me amigos. And until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.